Hi students. In the last class we have seen what is RISC machine and what is the difference between a CISC and the RISC based machine. Okay. And now ARM as advanced RISC machine which either it operates on CISC or RISC, that also we have discussed, and with wide range of applications of ARM we have just started. And in today's class we are going to discuss about we are going to start from the ARM and we are going to discuss about the architecture of ARM and what are all the processors that supports the particular architecture. That is what we are going to see now. So coming to ARM, so generally ARM is nothing but advanced RISC machine. Okay, coming to your ARM, this is an advanced RISC machine, and then it's a popular embedded system architecture. It is a popular embedded system architecture. Why ARM is so popular is it has a popular embedded system architecture, and then it was started way back in 1990. It was this ARM processor was developed by Icon Computers in Cambridge, UK, for their desktop computers, and their first processor was out by mid of 1980, that is in 1985 April, and that is named as Icon RISC machine. And later this processor was transferred, processor design was transferred to a new company called ARM. ARM is said to be Advanced RISC machine. Okay, advanced RISC machine, and this ARM is best known for its RISC processor core designs, and you have large range of software products available for chip designers and software developers. Okay, products available for chip designers and also for software developers, and many development tools are available to design this architecture, and software tools also available, namely your Keil ARM. Okay, so coming to the ARM processor cores, what are all the processor cores available and what are all the range of application process available, range of application processors available. So we will go ahead with why ARM processor is so popular. Okay, so ARM processor is so popular because it has supportive range of performance and capability products, and it is quite simple when compared to any other architecture. So ARM 7 TDMI was the first processor that was widely adopted as given in the graph. Okay, and it was used by many industries. It was developed in the mid 1990 and it was quite successful, and you have huge range of embedded products available, and sadly now ARM 7TDMI processor is no longer licensed by your ARM. So from this ARM 7, we have a large number of successful processor ranging from ARM 7 to ARM 11. Okay, through which many embedded products have been developed and built. And when you see in the right side of the graph, you have today you have embedded two main families, mainly Cortex processor that supports the Cortex processor. So they are embedded Cortex processors, which is nothing but Cortex M, Cortex R, and Cortex A. Okay, so embedded processors are mentioned in the green color in Cortex M and R4, and for the application based processor, Cortex processor, it is denoted by this purple color, it is denoted by this yellow color, that is Cortex A15. Okay, so you have two main families are Cortex R family and M family that we have seen. A family we will discuss later. So R family, the Cortex R family has very high performance in terms of timing property, very precisely high timing property it has, and it is used in deeply embedded timing critical applications, and it has productive interrupt routines. Okay, and for ARM M family, okay, which is in the lower end, ARM M family, it is in the lower end, and it is used in microcontroller based applications, and its cost is premium. Okay. So, example for your ARM R family is, examples for R families are engine management systems, disk drive controllers, etc., meaning applications. And what are the range of application processors that is being available is classic ARM processor. We know that this is your classic ARM processor. It has originated from ARM 7 and it has ended up with ARM 11. And this roadmap, whichever roadmap that we are seeing it now, this roadmap now consists of ARM till Cortex, A, R, M family till your I is also available. Okay, ARM I is also available, and which has, whereas ARM I has high performance in application platform such as operating systems Linux, and it has a sophisticated memory management capability, and it has extended instruction set for multimedia processing. I am talking about ARM I or ARM 11. Okay. Since from the development from ARM 7, since ARM 7 with extensive support, we have developed this Cortex processor, which is nothing but a multi-core configuration processors, and it has lattice cores, and that is these type of multi-cores are available in many embedded system products, and this is has high range of power and performance products. This can be used in high range of power and performance products, and the combination of both, namely your multi-core and your lattice core are allowed to balance between the power consumption and the performance between your real time applications, And the next thing what we are going to see is what is an ARM based system. Okay, ARM based system on chip, how it is going to be in an embedded system when it is built on chip, how this particular ARM based system is going to be. Okay. So, you have an as I said, it's an ARM based system. The fundamental and the main thing is nothing but your ARM based core that will be embedded on the SoC, system on chip. So, it consists of many components. It consists of this ARM based system consists of many components, only some of which are directly sourced through your ARM, and you have an ARM core, and if you see this ARM core is, it is inside your boundary, inside your boundary, deeply embedded inside the device, and you have a debug port, that is the only port that is available or exposed to the outside world. Okay, and you have a digital circuit which gives you your clock and your reset, and you have an interrupt inputs also, that is taken care by your interrupt controller, and within the device you have components like all the components will be connected. See, all the components within the device will be connected by an bus architecture. This is a bus architecture, and most of the ARM based system has a standard bus architecture. It is named as AMBA. I will explain you what is meant by AMBA bus architecture in the later classes. So, now as of now, any ARM based system or most of the ARM based system will be characterized by this AMBA bus architecture, which is the internal bus. It is your internal system bus, and this AMBA bus is classified into AMBA AXI into two types of bus. One is AMBA AXI and another one is AMBA APB. So, AMBA AXI is nothing but a high performance bus that is interfaced by it to your internal memory and to other high speed devices. And another one, AMBA APB, is your low performance peripheral bus that will be interfaced to your peripherals. Okay, and other than this, you have your external memory also outside your ARM based system, namely your flash and the STD, static or dynamic RAM, that can be connected to your ARM based system. But keep in mind, this bus and this flash and STD RAM is not connected to the AMBA bus, and this is an external bus. AMBA is your internal bus, okay. So you have this variety of applications of ARM based products, from your the smallest microcontroller based application to the powerful processor based applications. You have wide range of ARM processors, okay. So and based on the application, one architecture cannot support all the capability. So over time you have many architecture that is being developed, or in other ways I can even tell, over time a single architecture is being developed from V40 till V7 that match with the performance and capability of different applications, okay. So we have different architectures of ARM, namely starting from V40 and V5TE, and the next stage is V5TE, and the next to V5TE is V6, and finally you have your V7, okay. So this ARM V4T is developed in 1984, and it has these features, namely your system mode feature, and you have your thumb instruction set too, okay, and over time a single architecture has been developed, which is nothing but V7, the architecture V7 was developed to match with the performance and capability of different applications, and architecture V7 were added with different profiles, After V7, all the cores has the same architecture, okay. After V7, all the cores has the same architecture or the feature set, and we have I can even say that V7 is the parent of different cores, and V7 is said to be the parent, okay. And this V7 has to match with the different application process. V7 has different architecture profile, namely V7A, V7R and V7M, where V7A is said to be your application processor, and V7A is said to be your high performance processor, okay. V7A is said to be your is otherwise said to be your high performance processor also, and V7A is your microcontroller based. V7M is said to be your is used for microcontroller based applications, and V7R is for your real time, and V7A is for your application processor, okay. So when I am telling that if I am telling that ARM Cortex A8, see, A has a different, the architecture profile A has different cores, namely for example A8 and A9 are taken for granted now. A8 and A8 are two different cores that supports V7 architecture, but in both the architecture, supports the same instruction set, but the thing is same instruction set, and it follows the same architecture profile, which is nothing but V7A. But the difference is ARM Cortex A8 support 13 stage pipeline while executing a program. The program will be divided into multiple modules, and those are placed in pipelines for executions. It has 13 stage pipeline, so the execution speed will be larger. Whereas ARM A9 core, you have only an 8 stage process pipeline. You have an 8 stage pipeline. That is the difference. And then when I am telling the architecture and implementation of a particular processor that supports a particular architecture, okay, this is the particular architecture. I am saying that this is the core that supports a particular architecture V7, or a particular architecture profile V7A, okay, but they are different cores. They are different cores, but it supports same instruction set, but it has different pipeline architecture. I mean pipeline structures. Okay. It supports the same instruction set, register set, exception handling, etc. That is what I mean to say. So coming to the development of ARM architecture, so which type or which version of architecture is supported for which range of processor? From way back from ARM 7, way back from ARM 7 till your Cortex M, A and I processor, ARM based device. So helps us to track down which architecture or which instruction set and what are all the features that particular core supports. I can conversely I can say that when a new processor core, when I need to develop a new product, what is the new processor core I need to choose and what are all the features I need, and with that particular architecture, what are all the features available, or what are all the processor cores available, I should not say features, what are all the processor cores available for that particular architecture, and that particular core supports which sort of instruction set, register set, etc. Okay. So from that, this will be helpful in choosing a particular core for a particular application or a particular ARM based product. Okay. And vice versa is also possible. So ARM 7 architecture, we are this is the beginning. So ARM 7 architecture, I said with that application profile we are going to describe now. So ARM 7 architecture is in the tail. So now that particular application profile you have if you could see this, you have ARM A and ARM R and ARM M. This is your ARM family tree. Okay, this is your ARM family tree. So ARM A and ARM R Cortex processor and ARM M. So this is ARM A. It is having A is having high performance and high efficiency, and this is used for real time application, and this is used for control. This is used for control. Coming to ARM V7 profiles, whichever profile, profile A, R and M, profile A, R and M. So I will tell you what are all the specifications of each and every profiles. Okay. So ARM V7 A has the highest capability and highest capability and high performance profile, and it incorporates memory management units. It incorporates memory management units that allow implementation of full virtual memory. Okay, full virtual memory system as required by the operating system such as Linux. Okay, and this ARM V7A also supports security systems, also support the trust and security systems for the secure platforms such as your payment devices, payment devices and voice management systems. And it supports 40-bit physical addressing. It supports hardware virtualization. Okay. It supports recent extensions. Also, such as your 40-bit physical addressing memory and hardware virtualization. Okay. And keep in mind, all these recent extensions are not available in all the cores. Okay. Only your i15, core i15 and core i7, core i15 and core i7 will support these recent extensions. And moreover, and high performance, I said that this ARM 7 has high performance and high used in high performance application process, starting from your tablet to mobile devices and digital TVs. Okay, you have wide range of ARM V7 cores available, which are nothing but ARM 7, 9, 15, etc. And then come to your real time profile, which is nothing but your ARM course. Okay, ARM course. So this is used in deeply embedded applications. This ARM course, and this profile incorporates extensions, particularly, and it is good at real time hardware. That is, in virtual memory, it is dedicated for very high performance on-chip memory. Okay, it supports dedicated interfaces, and it supports a very high speed memory, and it has low interrupt latency. Okay, low interrupt latency. It supports extensions like low interrupt latency. And you have an embedded, it is useful for engine management, used in applications like engine management system, hard disk drive controllers, etc. And you have again in R profile, you have cores like R4, R5, etc. And finally, M is nothing but your it is targeted specifically for the microcontroller based applications, and their instruction set and the programmer model are tailored for low gate count, and it has different exceptional handling, and it is different from the traditional microcontroller too, and it has a fixed memory map. And it is standardized for a wide range of devices available in the product line. Okay, and it is of low cost and low power. Okay, the product range the product range available, or the core range available here, are M0, M3 and M0 plus. Okay, M0 plus are all some of the cores available in this ARM M profile. Okay, and so we have seen so far what are all the ARM architectures that is being available. Okay, and in each architecture, and what are all the cores that is available. Okay, so from the classic ARM till the Cortex, and how the ARM based products have been developed, and how an ARM based system looks like, and ARM architecture starting from V4 to V4T to finally we have finalized to one particular architecture, namely V7, and in that we have many profiles in the V7 suitable for different applications, high performance applications, real time applications, and microcontroller based applications. And we have seen the and each case what are all the features of each and every ARM architecture V7. Okay, ARM architecture V7 profiles. With that, I will stop today for today's class, and in the next class we will just discuss about the product range. We have just seen what are all the products range that is available, and what the evolution of architecture, and how these cores works. Okay, at the programmer model, and we have seen that. And mostly ARM A and ARM R profiles are much similar in nature. ARM M profile is quite different, and it quite different in significant ways. And in the next lecture, we will point out what are all the differences of ARM M and ARM A and ARM R. How it is different. ARM M is different from ARM A and ARM R. That and all we will discuss in the next class along with the programming model. Thank you.